who has made us able ministers. Who made us? Him, not man. Who has made us able ministers. Though the letter killeth, but the spirit gives life. Alright, are we there? Are we there? 1 Thessalonians chapter number 1. I'll read verse 8. Or let me read verse 7 and read verse 8. I'll read verse 7 and I'll also read verse 8. All the media people are ready for me? Okay, good. Alright. Verse number 7. The Bible says, so that we were examples to all that believe in Macedonia and Achaia. Circle the word example. I love this translation. This translation says, as a result, you became an example. You became an example to all the believers in Macedonia and Achaia. Verse number 8. I want you to circle the word example. Look at verse number 8. For from you, that means from these believers, from you sounded out. Circle the word sounded out. The word sounded out there means there was an echo. That means that from our life there can be a sound. Are you following me? From our life there can be a sound. And when I said a sound, I would like to say what sound echoed out. It takes someone who happens to be an example for his life or for the word of God to sound out from him or her. Are you following me? Look at verse 7. Verse 7 says, you are what? An example. Unto those, he talked about those regions, Macedonia, at the same time he talked about Achaia. Look at the next verse. The next verse said, for from you sounded out the word of the Lord, not only in Macedonia and Achaia, but also in every place. Can you see that? Are you following this one? Look at, first of all, they were an example. It said where they were example from. He said in Macedonia. At the same time, he said they were in Achaia. He went on to talk about how the word of God sounded out from them. He now said not only Macedonia, not only Achaia, he said, but also in every place. Can you see that? Can you see that? That means that your Christian walk or your Christian life start from a place. Are you following me? Your walk with God start from a place. If from that place that life does not affect the people around, there is no way it can affect the people away. Let me say it again. Look at where it started from. It started from them. There were examples where in Macedonia, there were examples where in Achaia. He now went on to say in the next verse, verse 8, he said, from you sounded out the word of the Lord. So let me ask you, what is sounding out of you? Doubt or the word of God? We listen to testimonies this morning. How God turned around the life of a man. We listen to testimony this morning. How someone laid hold on the inheritance that he had by releasing angels, and angels came to her attendant. We had this morning also how somebody also lay hold on his inheritance. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, release activities of angels, and a space was created for them. Are you following me? So what is actually sounding out from you? Doubt, fear, or the word of God? Look at, he said, for from you sounded out. I said the word sounded out means to resound. The word of the Lord, not only in Macedonia and Achaia, but also in every place. Look at the next thing. He said, your faith to God is spread abroad. Can you see that? Your faith is actually what? Spread abroad. Now, what faith is he talking about there? He's not talking about the faith that you used to receive. He's talking about your conviction. He's talking about your conviction. Your attestation that Jesus came, died for you. Your believing in him. He said, from where you are, that faith spread abroad. Look at, so that we need not to speak anything. I like that. This is Paul talking. He said, I need not to talk. I need not to say anything. He said, your faith has gone abroad. Are you following me? Are you here this morning? You know, when you get somewhere, you want to talk about someone. He said, see, I don't need to say anything about you. Already, people can actually see as a result of experiencing what is coming from you. There's something called recommendation. There's something called recommendation. I can recommend someone. Or I can commend someone. I can say praise of someone. I can recommend someone. Or I can refer someone. But I don't need to refer from where you are. The life that you have lived, the work that you have walked, the level of your tenacity to you trusting and believing God has gone abroad. Is somebody following me this morning? Are you following me this morning? Are you following me this morning? Are you following me this morning? Quickly, dash back quickly to 2 Corinthians chapter number 3. You will be able to catch where I'm going to this morning. Because this morning I want to start a series by God's grace that God put in my heart, in which I call the written epistles. The written epistles, or you will see many times when we take our confession, we said, I am a living epistle, known and read of all men. Oh, good. Remember that. Good. Amen. Somebody said, Pastor, the only epistle we knew or we know is Pauline epistles, or the epistles, or the pastoral epistles. But the Bible describes you and I as a living epistle. Are you here this morning? So look at 2 Corinthians chapter number 3. 2 Corinthians chapter number 3. 2 Corinthians chapter number 3. I'll read verse 1, I'll read verse 2, and I'll read verse 3. And in the course of this teaching, I'm going to look at what is an epistle. I'm going to look at how is an epistle written. I'm going to look at who is the epistle written to. Because your life is an epistle. Yeah. It is written and it's sent to some people. Did you get that? Did you get that? Did you get that? Let me say it again. Your life is an epistle written. I will tell you how it was written. I will tell you to who it was sent to. Are you here? So you will say that, well, Pastor, you don't understand what I've gone through. You don't understand where I'm coming from. You don't understand how I get here. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, as we have in the testimony this morning, that your life is a living epistle. And when you see an epistle is meant to be read. I will explain what an epistle is. But look at this quickly. 2 Corinthians chapter number 3, verse 1, verse 2, verse 3. This is Apostle Paul writing to the Corinthian church. He said, do we begin again to commend ourselves? That means, do we need to start praising ourselves? You see that it's a question mark. And I will tell you the reason why. Are you here with me this morning? Are you here with me this morning? I know you don't need a coffee this morning. You need a coffee? You don't need. Oh, Ayobami, nice to see you. Good. Thank you for coming. We'll see you after the service. And your lovely friend. Good. I'm sure you don't need a coffee this morning. You need to collect your Bible. Amen. So you don't need a coffee this morning. So alright, I have a few minutes this morning. Huh? Good. Alright, and you too. Nice to see you. Alright, good. Do we begin again to commend ourselves? Or need we, as some others, epistles of commendation to you, or letters of commendation from you? I want you to look at this, but look at that verse 1 very well, because we're going to be examining that verse. Do we begin again to commend ourselves, or need we, as some others, epistles of commendation to you, or letters of commendation from you? Circle the word letters and circle the word epistles. Look at verse 2. And I want you to circle this word too. When I ask to circle a particular part of the scripture, it's because it carries weight. When next you are reading it, you know what to place emphasis on. Are you following me? He said, ye are. The word ye is in plural, which simply says it's not talking about a person. Are you following me? In fact, if he's talking about a person, he said he will use the next word he will use will be what? Is. Am I right? Are you following here? Are you following here? But look at what he said. He said, ye are. So automatically he's not talking to one person. Are you following me? He said, you are our epistle, written in our hearts, known and read of some men, of few men, of one man, of only Nigerians, only Americans, Italians, Indigbos. I love that. Ishekiris. Answer me now. Spanish. Are you following me? Only Ijeshas. Only the Jebus. He said, read of all men. Read of all men. Read of all men. All men includes both believers, both intellectual, both the non-intelligent, all manners. Ladies and gentlemen, in the next few minutes this morning, I'm going to be looking at a subject or a message in which I've titled the written epistle or the living epistles. The written epistles or living epistles. With a little study of God's word, I looked at the whole of the Old Testament and I discovered that the word epistle was never used. The word epistle was started to be used when we got in under the New Testament. And what does the word epistle mean? It's a Latin stroke, a Greek word, which means a letter. And when you are talking about a letter, there's something in which you are trying to do. You are trying to communicate something to somebody else. Did you get that this morning? Let me say it again. You are trying to communicate something to somebody else. Listen, many years ago, before the advent of Facebook, internet, WhatsApp, email, Google, YouTube, we started to communicate by what I call telegram. I'm sure many of you don't know what they call telegram. I'm sure. I know grandpas will be able to know. You know, in those days, okay. In those days, they want to send a message from here. You know, they send, let's tell you, the telegram. After that, we started having post office. Isn't it? And from the post, what do we have? We have a what? A stamp. And we have an envelope. Or maybe, maybe some of you were not grown up then. Okay, you know, we all met the generation of email. Yahoo.com. Google.com. That was what most of us met. But in those days, you want to send a message from here to London. You will go to the Nigerian Postal Agency, either at University of Ibadan or at Secretariat or at Dubai. Is that not? Is that not? And when you get there, you buy a stamp. You know, I want to make it so simple so that you can grasp what I'm talking about this morning. You want to make it so easy, you get there and you buy a stamp. In those days, how many of you ever spent 5 kobo? 1 kobo? 10 kobo? 25 kobo? In those days, a stamp was 10 kobo. I used it. Let me see your hand. Oh, that means you are not born. Okay, 25 kobo. Oh. So you know, you will go there and you will put it together and put it at the right side of the envelope. Am I right? Am I communicating this morning? You know why? I decided to make it so that I can actually reach you this morning. Now, what are we trying to do? We are trying to send an information. We are trying to send a message. And how do you send the message? You pick a piece of paper and write the letter. In those days, if your wife is abroad and you are here, there is no phone call. Those 00 knots. You know what I'm talking about? 00 knots. You know what I'm talking about? It looks like a machine. You know, like a box. In those days, no matter how you want to communicate your mind and your heart to your wife that is 60 kilometers or 6,000 miles away, you will have to write a letter. Isn't it? Even though if probably you just have a baby girl and you want to get in touch with him or with her, there is no way in which you can call. You will say, oh darling, thank you very much. I'm so happy that the seed that you sown 9 months ago has actually come out to be Professor Musafejo. And what do? You post it. Is that not the message? You post it. A message communicates your mind. A message or a letter communicates both your anger, your emotion and everything. Communicate it and you send it. Or you are here, you just bought a brand new car and you want him that is over there to know. You say, oh, Dear Felix, how are you? Thank you for those days when we were in University College Hospital Ibadan. I remember that you are the one that used to feed me morning, afternoon, and evening. But thank God for your life. I'm happy to tell you at this time that level has changed. That the Lord has turned around my captivity. And God has blessed me. I just hit a job in Chevron. Now, you know what you now do? You now put a smiling. You know, these days, you have a smiling face on those things. But in those days, those things are not there. You draw a smiling face. Glory to God. Is somebody following me this morning? Is somebody following me this morning? See, when I begin to look at you and I as a letter, as an epistle that is not written by hand, are you following? Then the way you live your life will be different. Are you following me? Are you following me? The way you live, how you comport, how you conduct yourself will be different. You know why? Because you know that letter will be read by all men. Listen. 16 years ago, my wife happened to was serving in Imo. Then there was no GSM. Or was there GSM 16 years ago? No. But you know what? There is a place in usage. You will remember. If I get the blood bank, it's a telecommunication place. So you can call anywhere in the world. You can call it, we call it phone room. So where she is, she will go and wait for me at a particular time, 5 p.m. So I said, I will call at 5 p.m. Many times I've been there. When I get there, you try to ring and you'll be ringing. They said it didn't pick up. They said there is no connectivity. So many times I go back to ABH, shaking my head. Oh my God. That means I can't pass the message I want to pass across. That means she can't pass the message she wants to pass across. And you can imagine from here to Oguta. Everybody from Oguta here. Imo State. Oguta is very far. I've been there a couple of times too. But listen, ladies and gentlemen, so I'll go back. That means that message that day can't be won, passed across. But you know now, those things are not there. Now, listen. Anytime when my wife told that she was coming and she wrote letter at ABH, then all your letters will be at the Potter's Lodge. So when you are going, they will say, the Potter will say, "Oh, look, you have a letter." I said, "Letter." So immediately you see it, you will see the stamp from where it's coming from. If it's from Oyo State, you will see it. If it's from Oguta, you will see it. If it's from abroad, you will see it. Please catch this morning. But you know, with email, there's nothing like that. You can be in Sarah, there's a sent email. When I said that, when she wrote me that she was coming home, I have a roommate there. His name is Doctor. His name is Doctor, doing very well in Lagos. Yemi Ogudele. So I showed him. I said, "Ah! 1 year, I waited 1 year, my fiancé is coming back home." And he said, "Ah, praise God, oh, God, listen, look at. When you are excited about your letter, what do? You put it for somebody else to be able to read it. Can you catch that?
Yes, sir.
Except when there's a skeleton in your pocket. That's what I said. You know, Timothy, I will show you. I will let you know. You will not be proud to show the letter to someone. Isn't it? That's why let's go to your email. Let's go to your email box. If you know you are happy, if you know you can show us what is inside here, then we'll say yes. You don't have any skeleton in your pocket. Are you following me? What am I trying to say? Once our life is like a letter that is written, that is known. This is what God wants to showcase it to the world. Did you get what I mean this morning? Did you get what I mean this morning? See, I've passed so many things across to you this morning. I hope you get that. Okay, look at this translation. Thank you. You yourself are our letter, written on our heart, recognized. Look at the word recognized. Recognized and read by everyone. Listen, when I'm going through a tough time, when I'm going through a difficult time, like the Hebrew, in the eyes of the storm. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, people are watching. They want to see the way, maybe what I actually preach, maybe what I actually teach, I will work it out. Are you here? See, I am not a Christian, I'm not a believer inside the house. Or am I a believer on Sunday? Or a Christian on Sunday? That's why Paul told Timothy, 1 Timothy chapter number 4, he said, be an example of a believer. When you see an example, it's something in which you want everyone to look at. And listen, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have that in the back of your mind. That you're a letter that is actually meant to be known, recognized, and written by all men. So that's why you can't live anyhow. That's why you can't conduct your life anyhow. That's why there are some certain things you can't afford to do. Are you following me? There are some certain things in which you can't get yourself muddled up in. Thank you. He said, let no one despise your youth. Instead, you should be an example. Look at what he now said. To who? To the believers. Now, look at it specifically here. He was not talking to the church. Catch this. Did you see that? He was not talking to the church. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 7 and verse 8, he called all of them what? An example. How the word of God sounded out of them. Are you here? But here, he's talking specifically to Timothy. So one person. He said, let no one despise your youth. What does the word despise mean? Despise means to look down on. Despise means to look down on. You see, I wonder how you people read tiny letters. Maybe because I've grown. Amen. I'm not growing old. Amen. For those who wait upon the Lord, they shall renew their strength. Amen. My Father in heaven. Let me see the Bible. Let me see the Father in heaven. Amen. My Father in heaven. Where's the Bible, my dear sister? Okay, this is even a little bit better. I can't. Let me see yours. Oh, no. I can't even. Let me see yours. Wow. This one is still even better. Let me see yours. Wow. Let me see yours. Wow. Let me see yours. My Father, Lord. Daddy, you know, where's your Bible? Wow. Oh, you know, I just like it very cool. You know, that this I can still see this one. Where's yours? I'm coming. Where's yours? My Father, Lord. This is your room. You have been reading your Bible. Yes. You know why? You know a man has read his Bible, you will see it circled marked. So put your hands together for him. You know, when I do this regularly, I'm trying to use it to encourage people to read the Bible. Amen. Is it your name that's teaching here? Okay. That one is big. Where's the Bible? This is the one. Hold it a little bit. Hold it a little bit. We'll kick off. Yeah. Listen. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it again. And I'm going to say it again. And I will close up this morning. I love people who tells me the truth. The Bible says, and you will know the truth. And the truth will what? Set you free. John 17:17. He says, sanctify us, O Lord, with your word. For your word is. I will tell you a little bit how in those days letters are written. Letters of these epistles that we read, that Paul wrote, were actually written on a scroll. Now, Apostle Paul took a ink and a pen. When he was writing on those scrolls, you need to know how those scrolls were feeling. Are you here? Yes, sir. If those scrolls could actually complain, they will say, please, leave me alone. Please, for some few minutes. Please, let me be. But you know, he kept writing them. He kept writing them. He kept writing them. He was engraving them. Now, many years after, you and I pick those letters, we read them and we get inspired. Philippians 4:6-7. Do not be anxious for anything. In all things, make your request known unto God. And when you are anxious, you open to Philippians 4:6 and you begin to read it. And as you are reading it, what happening? He's ministering to you. But when he was writing it in original, under the scrolls with the ink was being blotted on it. It seems as if it makes no meaning. But today, inspiration flows from it. Are you following me this morning? Inspiration flows from it. Listen as I close this morning. You are a written epistle. You are an epistle known and read. There are some people today that we draw inspiration from. The reason why we could draw inspiration from them is because they passed through a process. Isn't it? You and I draw inspiration from His word. Is it not? Is it not? Is it not? The reason why you and I could draw inspiration from these letters is because that scroll went through something. Are you following me this morning? It wasn't palatable. Sometimes it was difficult. If that paper could cry, you say, please don't. Please, enough. That's why they talk about Paul. They said his countenance was very uncomely, but his letters were witty. They say, ladies and gentlemen, when you and I serve as an example, people will draw inspiration from us. You know the reason why people are not drawing inspiration from you? Should I tell you? Should I tell you? Because already you are not living as an epistle. You want to draw inspiration? You go into the scriptures. Listen. You go into the epistles. An epistle is a letter. Your life is a letter that is being read and known of all men. But you know what? That's why the people in your neighborhood can't draw inspiration from you. You know what? Because you are not living an epistle. Oh God. Are you following me? Let me tie it up. I was mentioning Tasha Cobbs. Is it Tasha Cobbs? And Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj. Praise God. And listen. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. The woman sang a song. Anytime you sing that song, you can send power and the anointing of God. We were talking about it in Bible school yesterday. You know? And when you listen to it, in fact, you sing it on your own. There is power in the name of Jesus. Break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. I see the chain broken. I see the chain falling. But see, that was an example. I'm sure there was a time this pastor must have warned him many times about wrong association. Let me tell you something. Later on in life, if you ever see yourself manifesting some things, look at it very well. Along the line, God has stationed somebody along the line to correct it. But when you don't heed, you don't allow the pen of the Holy Spirit, through the inspiration of the preaching and the teaching of His word, to rewrite and to imprint in your life, do you know what will happen? When you now get there, it will show. The Bible says, what correlation between righteousness and unrighteousness? 2 Corinthians 6:14. Do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. What is the relationship between darkness and light? They said people say that you want to go and combat her. You are not a combater. A combater is only used for a keyboard. Is it not a combater? A combater is only used for a keyboard and also this mic. You are not a combater. Went and do a collabo. Should they prostitute? Rash. How can a little leaven the whole lump? Song of Solomon chapter 2 verse 15. Catch those little foxes that can destroy your vine. He said, for your vine is what? Is full. Are you following me, ladies and gentlemen? I'm going to tie it up here. Listen. Right now, through the pen of the Spirit, through the inspiration and the revelation of God's word coming into your life to form, to build, to put your life together, and you know what you are saying? You say, let me enjoy life a little bit. Let me taste it a little bit. Listen, time is going. Even though if you work your way there, even though if you try as much as possible to pack and get everything sorted out, your gifting can only take you there. But it will take the character, the mature character of Christ to stabilize you. That's why, listen, ladies and gentlemen, it's a long journey. Are you following me? It's a long journey. It's for you to be called an example. Example is someone in which everybody follows. You see, everybody follows. That's why I came across this. Let me tie this together. In the last ministers conference that was done in Lagos. Thank God for Pastor Pojo Yemade. Great, mighty, wonderful, great work in Lagos. I saw it. I saw the caption. And it was Pastor Matthew Ashimolowo that was preaching that night. And you know what? He said this, and I quote him. He said, "Don't respect me too much." You saw it. To swallow also my errors. Oh God. Is somebody here? Is somebody here? He said, "Don't respect." That means that you can hear this generation. We are falling and falling, even though with the error and everything, we're swallowing it up. But I said, thank God, at least a father came out. You know, it takes you being open to be able to say, I have been in error. Yes, sir. I have made a mistake. Don't follow my mistake. Are you here? Are you here? Let me tie it up this morning. Are you blessed this morning? Let me tie it up. I love this statement made by Kenneth Hagin. How many of you heard about Alexander Dowie? We looked at it yesterday at the Bible school. How many studied at the Bible school? And this is what Kenneth Hagin said about Alexander Dowie. He said, you can follow the faith of Dowie, but don't follow his doctrine. Ah! Let me tell you, when you look at the church of Dowie, that was at the turn of turn of the century, 19th century. All around the church, you will see crutches, you will see chair, you will see everything. That is what they used to decorate the church. So, I'm sure it must have been to stimulate the faith of those who are sick. That see you, one day you will drop yours. That's my own interpretation. Please get me. That's what I interpret from there. But you know what? The man did well. Excellently well. But at the turn of time, the venture into what? Into. That's why everybody here learn to read biographies. Both biographies and autobiographies. I say, Pastor, teach you when you have autobiography. Read. Let me tell you, read it. You will see the strength of people. You can lay hold on it. You see their weaknesses that will make you to avoid the pitfalls. Judas was a wonderful man, great man. He loves God. But you know what? If you read your biography of Judas, Acts of the Apostle chapter 1, he said his bishopric, let another man take. You know why? He started well. He was doing well. But along the line, he entered into some certain things. And we can't do it anymore. Listen, ladies and gentlemen. One day you will start on the pinnacle and rise up as a colossal, in which everybody all around you, like a beacon of light, both from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south, both from all the continents of the world, and they will come and see you burn, because you will be like a fire that is burning, that everybody is coming to catch a glimpse. And as you do that, you know you have paid your bills and you have gone through things that have actually been able to sustain you. But watch out for the foxes that can spawn the vine. That's why God is asking you to watch out for those foxes now. And as you do so, His name will be glorified. You know, I just got caught up. Pardon me. Hey, talk to the Lord.